Hey guys, welcome to episode number 35 of Ask DeFranco's Gym. We will get right to today's question. Joe, I noticed you have your guys lifting upper body on Monday most of the time. For a coach of your caliber, I find it odd you would structure your programs in this fashion. Isn't it true to have your athletes perform the things that are of greatest importance earlier in the week? And if that is the case, shouldn't Monday be reserved for sprints, squats, or jumps, not bench pressing with the meat sticks? Speaking of benching, I noticed many of your strength programs have back-to-back max effort days. For example, max effort upper body on Monday and max effort lower body on Tuesday. Isn't that counterproductive to performance? Doesn't the body need 48 hours between max effort days or high intensity workouts? By the way, your podcast is a dream come true. I still can't believe it's free. Thank you. I've listened to the first 3 episodes 3 times each, and your dad's a boss. Continue to be a trailblazer. Lee. I think that's how you pronounce your name. A little different spelling. Lee. Well, Lee, hopefully that's your name. That is a good question. So, yes, most of my life, if you look back to some of my programs, the most important workouts or the main workouts were on Monday because I was taught to have the most important workout first thing in the week when you're so-called the freshest. Experience taught me that through practical experience, I noticed that Mondays, there's a reason Mondays are Mondays. You go on your Facebook timeline or you go on Twitter and everybody's like, oh, it's Monday. Oh, I hate Monday. Monday sucks. While I am not one of those people, I do get it because usually 1 or 2 things happen. With everybody generally, but I'll tell you my experience with my athletes. The dedicated ones maybe take some time off. You know, they work hard Monday through Friday and then the weekend is to rest and recover. But they might kind of lounge around the house and do nothing all weekend, which has its place every now and then. But if you're somebody who's used to always go in training, sometimes laying around doing nothing, watching TV, although your body might need a little break, when Monday rolls around, you need a little bit of time to get the body going. So Monday's workout might be a little sluggish, and I noticed that it was like midway through Monday's workout, they would start acting like themselves, or Tuesday would be perfect. You know, either mid-Monday or Tuesdays when they kind of like, the nervous system got jacked back up, they woke up and they were ready to go. And that was whether they lounged around and did nothing all weekend, or what happens is, again, dealing with a lot of high school, college kids, and even professional athletes are young, and a lot of professional athletes are still kids. They would go out on the weekends and, you know, party for a day or two. So they work hard Monday through Friday and they think, I'm going to treat myself to a couple drinks on a Saturday night, or, you know, they sit around watching TV, drinking some beers on Sunday. So then they're going to come in a little sluggish and not themselves on Monday. So what I started doing was switching the most important workout to Tuesday. And I tell you, if I had to pick, there's more than one way to skin the cat, so to speak, but if you put a gun to my head and you made me choose, I would say that at this point in my career, most of the time I will put the most important workout on Tuesday. I like to use Monday as like a little bit of a primer for Tuesday. With that being said, Monday certainly isn't a waste, but what I found, you talked about bench pressing on Monday, you could have a good upper body workout. You could have a good performance on the bench press. You could still press some heavy weights. Even if you're feeling a little sluggish because you either overate all weekend, you lounged around on Sunday and you're just a little bit tired, or you know, you had a couple too many drinks. You could use those extra calories, you know, maybe even to your advantage on the bench. So simply put, it's easier to still have a good upper body workout or get through a good upper body workout, still handle some impressive poundages on the bench press at 75 or 80%, as opposed to have a really good sprint workout or a heavy squat workout being a little more sluggish. It's just a little easier to lay down on the bench, and press a heavy weight rather than put a heavy weight on your back and squat it, or have a real technical and explosive sprint workout. So that is my theory on that. I know it goes against a little bit what a lot of people do, but anybody who's been in the gym, I bet people who follow the rule of Monday being the most important day right now are saying, damn, Joe's right. Monday is a little shitty in the beginning when my guys come in. So give Tuesday a try as your main day. With that being said, yeah, you talked about back-to-back max effort upper body days. This kind of goes hand in hand too. Just from practical experience, before, without reading any scientific studies or anything else, I just knew that benching on heavy on Monday, or having so-called max effort upper body day on Monday, never had any ill effects on my guys' performances on Tuesday. Never. If you're a high level power lifter and max effort bench day means, handling 600-700 pounds on the bench, and it takes you 15 warm-up sets just to get to your top set for your work sets, that's a little different. Your nervous system might be a little fried the next day. You might need that, 48 or 72 hours in between workouts. But even elite level athletes, I deal with a lot of elite level athletes, they're not elite level bench pressers. So, even if the handful of guys you have that bench over 400, they could perform one or two heavy sets on max effort upper body day and still be completely fine on Tuesday. Also remember, when you bench press, you're only using 35% of your motor units. So I've even heard, Buddy Morris spoke about this. He actually talks about it often, where sometimes he has his guys bench heavy on a low day. I don't know if he follows the high-low method all the time, the high-low method popularized by Charlie Francis. I don't want to speak for Buddy, but I know he does incorporate it. I don't know if he does it all the time, but when he does, he has guys bench heavy on a low day sometimes, because, again, you're only using 35% of your motor units, which is a lot less than a heavy squat or a heavy deadlift. So there's an example, too, of a guy that's, you're benching heavy, but obviously it's not tapping in to the recovery for the next day's work. Also remember, with my programming, I call it max effort upper body day, but you might hit one or two heavy sets. You work up to one or two, maybe three heavy sets on the bench press or whatever the main lift is that day. Then the rest of the workout is all accessory stuff. It's, rehab/prehab, bodybuilding type work, more general type training. So it's not like every single exercise is 90% and above. It's just the main exercise, the kind of core lift that day. Another interesting fact about that, Charlie Francis would have his sprinters bench heavy a few days before a meet to kind of stimulate the nervous system without overstressing the muscles that are primarily used in sprinting. So that's another example, goes to show you, like, the benching heavy, it is a stimulus. It's a stimulus enough that Charlie Francis would use it as a stimulant, but obviously he's not going to do anything. These are elite level sprinters, the fastest guys in the world. At one point, the fastest guy in the world. He would have Ben Johnson bench, I don't know if it was a day before a meet, but within days, within 1 or 2 days before a track meet, to get that little bit of a stimulant, the central nervous system stimulant effect, but it's not tapping into kind of your full body, because it's certainly not going to tax the prime movers in sprinting. So you could see it's a stimulus. For me, Charlie Francis is using it to just kind of stimulate guys so they're not just lounging around doing nothing, and they're just their nervous system's kind of flat for a full week leading up to a meet. For me, on a lower level, I'm saying I'll use the bench as a stimulant, as a stimulus to just wake guys up after a long weekend, whether it's drinking or lounging around doing nothing. That bench is a nice little stimulus to wake them up, get some good work in, but not so much that it's going to take away from Tuesday's workout. So, that's my little rant on that. Hopefully you find that beneficial. I definitely think this is some good information for people, because so many people just blindly follow the rule of, you know, your main work has to be done on Monday. Look, I went back to I never wanted to have my guys benching on Monday because it's known as National Bench Press Day, and every meathead in every gym in the world is benching. So I always like to be different. I don't want to be, you know, thrown in with the masses. But I went back to having my guys bench on National Bench Day just because, again, I found it to be more productive to get my sprint work, my jumps, my throws. If I'm going to squat or deadlift heavy, Tuesday is definitely superior. So hopefully that helped you out, guys. Thanks again for the podcast. You mentioned the podcast in the beginning. Every Thursday, check iTunes. We put a new show up. It's been going great. We've been #1 on iTunes. Every week we've hit that #1 spot for the past 3 weeks. And we'll continue, hopefully, to do that. We have a great show coming up this week. I got Dave Deal coming on next week. And also, speaking of programming, check out DeFrancoInsider.com. We have installment number 4 of the West Side for Skinny Bastards program. We're calling it Strong Bastard 911. It is being released to members of the Insider only. They are going to be our beta test, our final beta test on this program. We've been experimenting with it. I feel it's the best yet. We're going to experiment on a couple hundred people on the Insider to make sure it's ready to go. They are going to have first access to it. The program gets released on Tuesday, March 31st, and then they will go through the program. It's an 11-week program. We'll add any tweaks to it, and then it will be available to the general public. But if you want to get in on it early, become part of the beta test, go to DeFrancoInsider.com, sign up. You not only get the workout, you get the exercise index, the private forums, premium workouts from our college and pro athletes, the workout of the month, exclusive videos behind the scenes. It's a steal. It is a steal. So check that out, DeFrancoInsider.com, and I will see you next time for episode number 36 of Ask DeFranco's Gym. Thanks, guys.